If you didn't know, there's an actual SCP movie releasing in theaters in 2027. No, this is not a joke. And based on everything we know so far, there's huge reason to be optimistic. It will be part of the VHS series of movies. If you haven't heard of it, it's a found footage horror franchise. The premise is that every movie is a collection of found footage clips recovered from a scene of an incident or some other scary happening. They say the narrative will follow recovered field documentation, video evidence cataloged and archived by the SCP Foundation. Rather than following a single linear plot, individual directors will pitch short standalone segments. Each segment will focus on different anomalous entities, objects, or phenomena with a heavy emphasis on containment breaches. There are a lot of things to keep in mind when somebody says they're going to make an SCP movie. As you probably know, SCP is not one continuous narrative, it is this collage of different stories and incident logs and various multiverses of events. This movie solves the main problem anyone trying to make an SCP film will encounter, which is always the question of how do you condense all of SCP lore into roughly 90 minutes-ish. As somebody who's been into SCP for almost 9 years, I can safely tell you it is not something you can research in an afternoon. It is absolutely huge and requires months of research to get a fully good grasp on it. It is very hard to please both casual viewers and SCP fans at the same time. So this is a very smart move that they're doing, essentially making each story its own self-contained thing that just features one of the SCPs whose powers are self-explanatory in the footage itself and don't need any kind of prior lore knowledge. The idea of a containment breach is the most common trope found in any SCP adaptation, whether it's a game, short film, animation, or fanfiction. It's the most popular SCP story structure anyway. We've been playing this kind of thing out for over a decade now, so the fact that the SCP movie is going to be following the same structure is a really welcome sight. To understand why this movie might actually work, we have to take a look at the track record of the VHS franchise. Started in 2011, the series showed that you don't need to rely on a traditional 2-hour narrative to tell a story, and instead gave full creative freedom to the directors to make something scary within the time slot that they got. This is the main gimmick of the VHS movies, with each segment of them being headed by a different director, which gives each one a totally unique feel. Now, the franchise has had its ups and downs. We don't talk about VHS Viral. But the recent revival of the series in 2021 on streaming services with movies like VHS 94 and VHS Beyond proves that their team can still make short form horror. Now, let's actually look at the faces behind the SCP movie. These are all the people that we currently know that are working on it. First, we have Roy Lee. Roy Lee is one of Hollywood's most successful horror blockbuster producers. He initially rose to fame by starting the trend of American remakes of classic Asian horror films in the early 2000s. You might actually know some of these. He worked on The Ring, The Grudge, as well as It Chapter 2, The Departed, which was the 2006 winner of Oscar's Best Picture, and the Lego Movie franchise and Unikitty? Okay, sure. Then we got Steven Schneider, who has the most depressing IMDb photo I have ever seen. Apparently he's really involved with the Paranormal Activity franchise and has a ton of experience in low-budget found footage horror. That's pretty neat. Up next is Josh Goldblum. He's actually the one responsible for the huge success of the VHS revival, every single one of which, despite having mixed reviews, has managed to break even. So he kind of knows what he's doing. He also worked on Kids vs. Aliens and I Am Santa Claus. Doesn't ring a bell? No? Didn't think so. The last guy is Michael Schreiber. Apparently there's like a billion people named Michael Schreiber, and his name is really similar to the other guy, Steven Schneider. So we have a bit of a Mario and Wario thing going on. And while Steven has a really sad looking photo, this dude doesn't have a photo at all. He also worked on the VHS franchise along Josh, as well as the Guava Juice show and the Cyanide and Happiness show. Okay, this is pretty much all the info we have so far, but we're actually missing something pretty crucial. The directors for the shorts have yet to be revealed, and these are the guys that matter the most in this whole thing. We've yet to get any kind of info on who will actually be making these short SCP segments, and I'm really hoping it'll be somebody competent for each one. I think with the recent success of Obsession and the Backrooms that they'll start treating indie horror more seriously and give younger directors a chance to make something good. Now, the question is, do I personally think it will succeed? Yes. This is a pretty competent list of people, all things considered, and I think the audience demographic that the SCP movie captures is also something worth noting. It would be attracting the millennials, Zoomers, and Gen Alpha at the same time. The millennials were the ones who first wrote all the SCP stories. The Zoomers were the first ones to consume SCP content, and Gen Alpha would be going into all of this with a completely fresh perspective. I think this movie will very much have a backrooms effect where it will generate a lot of buzz on social media. It's a franchise that, while not a super huge amount of people are active fans of it, it's still in a lot of people's hearts as a nostalgic property that they look back on fondly. I mean, everybody knows who this is. Come on. And while we're on that, one of the things I'm curious about is how they will do 173's design, because he will be in the movie without a doubt. He's the star of the show. But if you didn't know, due to some problems with the original artist, who's like some random Japanese dude, the SCP Wiki moderators were embarrassingly forced to remove the image of 173 from the wiki. As a result of this, people started to come up with their own interpretations of 173, a lot of them looking completely different from each other. I still think the original 173 can never be beat. I mean, it's way too iconic and it just looks so bizarre and odd without trying too hard to be something directly scary. I really hope somehow through some miracle they're able to get the rights to it, but I wouldn't hold my breath. The budget of the recent VHS movies has not been made public, but we know it's extremely small for each of them. Some are less than $500,000, which in the movie industry is considered comically cheap. We can expect the budget of the SCP movie to be way higher than that, because it's the first VHS movie in theaters in 12 years. So this shows that they have a very high degree of confidence in this movie. If anything, it will at least be decent, because it's very hard to fuck up a movie about something as cool as SCP. I think movie studios right now are just high on the wave of making adaptations of internet horror, since the Backrooms movie was a huge success, and we even have a Mandela catalog movie on the way too. But in my opinion, SCP is way more movie worthy, so fingers crossed. But what do you think? Do you think it'll be good? Yes? No? Do you like SCP? I got another SCP video you can watch right here. But for real, I'll update you guys if there is any more news about this movie. Bye bye.